Good day, I hope you're well. My name is Tia, and today I'd like to talk about one of my favorite topics, self-love. I'd like to go through what is self-love, what self-love means, the alignment of actions and values for self-love, developing what you need, as well as self-love and standards. The reason I love this topic so much is because I think it is underrated in its strength. I think we are always made aware of the power of love in the context of one person to another. But I don't think we go on and on enough about the power of self-love and what that does for the individual. But before I proceed with this video, please ensure that you like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more awesome content. Right off the bat, I'd like to make clear what isn't self-love. Self-love is not selfishness. It's got nothing to do with a lack mentality. Selfishness comes from a place that there isn't enough for me, so I must keep more for myself. Whereas self-love promotes the fullness of the self. Oprah Winfrey always says, "I am so full, my cup runneth over." That is the type of self-love I am talking about. One where the individual is so full of the self that they cannot help but run over. So there's a difference. Selfishness comes from a lack mentality, but self-love comes from a full mentality. So what is self-love? The Brain and Behavior Research Foundation defines self-love as a state of appreciation for oneself that grows from actions that support our physical, psychological, as well as spiritual growth. What I want to highlight from this definition is the appreciation of oneself from actions. It is not enough to know, we must do. The reason why I want to highlight self-love is because I want to highlight for people who believe that people who possess high levels of self-love will automatically always that way. Self-love requires actions. So these actions can also be learned by everyone and implemented into their lives. Nothing happens without action. It does not matter how much you say you want to grow your self-love and how much you wish you had self-love. Without action, nothing is going to happen. Actions build credibility with the self, which then builds respect for oneself. You have to take actions on the things you want. You have to take action more than once. You have to take action over and over again until you can instinctively call yourself an action-oriented person. You're a go-getter. The self-love definition talks about actions that support the growth of the physical, psychological, as well as your spiritual self. So, if you're unhappy with your psychological self, take actions to improve that. Seek and look for resources that will help improve your psychological self. It is not enough to know, you must do. Jim Rohn talks about the 10% rule. 100 people could be listening to this video right now and find it highly informative, highly helpful, and be really motivated to do something to improve their self-love. However, out of that 100, only 10% will go home and do something about it. Will go home and take action in order to achieve or grow their self-love. So, make sure that you are part of the 10% that does something. Be part of the 10% that takes action. It is not enough to know, you must do. Next is the alignment of actions and values for self-love. I think a lot of people do have values, but they may not necessarily always know how to articulate them. But I do think it's important that you take the time to be able to explain or articulate your values so that you can be able to better monitor if your actions are aligned with your values. The reason why it's important that your values and your actions are aligned is because it creates harmony within you. There's a harmony between what is important to you and what you are actually doing. When there's a misalignment between your actions and your values, it creates a feeling of disjointment in the person because they are not doing what is important to them. If, for example, one of your values is honesty, it's important that you practice honesty. If you value honesty, but your actions are the opposite of that, there is disjointment within the person. So to create peace and harmony within the person, it's important that your honesty, which is your values, is also aligned with your actions. It's important that your thoughts, which are promoting honesty, to be aligned with your habits and your circumstances. So it's quite important that you always ensure that you are constantly aligned with your values and your actions. If, for example, your values is education, it is important that you spend time inquiring education so that you build this harmony between yourself, so that you build this harmony within yourself of what is important and what you're actually investing your time in. The alignment of values and actions are incredibly important to self-love because they promote harmony within the self. There's a harmony between what is important to you and what you're actually doing, where you're investing your time. Secondly, the alignment of values and action also is. Secondly, the alignment of values and actions also creates credibility within the person in terms of what they stand for. And secondly, the reason why it is so important for your actions and your values to align is that it creates within the person a sense of, I know who I am and I know what I stand for. This confidence of knowing who you are and what you stand for is reinforced when there's strong alignment between what you value, what is important to you, and what you actually do. There's complete harmony all the time. So you never go into situations where you are uncertain about where you stand because your values are backed up by your actions. Next up is develop what you need. Look at what you need and develop it within the self. Look at what you need physically, psychologically, and spiritually, and develop that within the self. Developing what you need within the self ensures a strong and steady supply. Develop what you need. If you need love, then develop love within the self. Take actions that promote your self-love. Take actions that make you happy. Take actions that promote your authenticity. Take actions that improve your self-love. Developing what you need ensures a strong supply. Developing what you need ensures that you can constantly look within the self to find what you need. Develop what you need. If you need trust, then develop trust within the self. If you say you're going to do something, then take action and do it. Be a person who says, when I want to do something, I take action and do it. I do what I say I'm going to do. That builds trust within yourself that you're a person who always does exactly what they said they were going to do. That is how you build trust within yourself. That is developing your own supply. Develop what you need. If you need friendship, then be your friend first. Start with yourself. You become an even better friend to others if you are also a good friend to yourself. You ensure that whatever you need, you can first find it within yourself before you can find it in others. I really want to emphasize that whatever you need to first develop it within yourself. It needs to first exist within the self. If you look for something outside or from other people that does not exist within the self, you create circumstances of beggary where you constantly need others to feel what you need inside. So, to avoid that, develop what you need in you first before you seek it in others. Because when you seek it in others, you develop circumstances of beggary. And lastly, self-love and standards. Self-love produces standards. Standards tell the person, this is good for me, this is not good for me. This is acceptable to me, this is not acceptable for me. This I can participate in, this I do not participate in. That is one of the produces of self-love. I think it's really difficult to set standards if you do not know your own value. If you don't even know the value of your own love, it is hard for you to develop standards. Standards are requirements or agreements that you have with yourself in terms of what is acceptable to you and what is not. I cannot impress enough the importance of standards so that you understand in every situation you go into what is acceptable to you and what is not. Before you set standards for other people, it is important that you set standards for yourself. What is acceptable from yourself and what is not acceptable from yourself. For example, it is not acceptable from myself to be disrespectful to other people. Therefore, in every situation that I go into, I must ensure that I am respectful to other people because this is a standard of myself. This is a requirement that I have from myself. It is unacceptable for me to go against this standard. The same way that I have this standard for myself, that it is unacceptable for me to disrespect other people, I also have the same standard for other people. It is unacceptable for other people to disrespect me. That is my standard. There is an African proverb that says, "It is not what you get called, it is what you respond to." If your standard is respect, then you will only respond to respect. When respect is your standard, you will not add your name into anything that will disrespect you. People will go around in all directions doing whatever they want to do, but your standard is respect. You will not be involved in everything that everyone does or gets involved in. I cannot stress enough the importance of self-love and standards. Your standards also influence the people around you. Are the people around you growing you? Are they decorating you? Are they making you better? It is so important to also monitor the people around you so that you can see if they're also positively influencing your self-love. Are they also positively growing your standards? And that's it. I thank you so much for your time. I really hope you found value in this video. If you have found value in this video, then please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Please make sure that you leave a comment and tell me what you've actually found helpful or motivating in this video. I think it is so important that we all invest time and effort into our self-love. I thank you again. This is becauseI, hoping that we all learn, share, and inspire. Thank you. Bye.